Dr. Kemi for Kemi Talks Media. It's Monday, the 16th of June 2025. Let's talk about Davido and the cancelled concert in Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in London. Well, here's the deal. A lot of you heard that Davido pulled out of the concert, which is supposed to be 50 Cent's legacy tour with Mary J. Blige and guest Davido. Davido is a very proud person. He said in a statement that Africa must be respected. Nobody disrespects Africa when it comes to music, especially now where we're the top of a new genre. It's not really new, but a genre that's fast rising around the world with people like Thames, Rima, Arya Star, and many others. Afrobeats. I was a journalist for 31 years, and music journalism was one of my main beats for 25 out of that. And knowing the way concerts and the dynamics that go with it is done, I'll tell you exactly what happened here. Iconic Presents is the people who are actually doing their concert with the Neo group there. And Davido's pissed off because he says the dynamics of what he wants for the concert has not been met. The sets, the stage designs and all kinds of stuff. Let me tell you what a set is. I'm sure you know what it is, just like we're using all these journalistic words, okay? A set means, okay, my son is an upcoming, hip-hop artist and a model. If my son wants to do a concert, okay, and 50 Cent owns the concert. I've done a lot of concerts. I've traveled to a lot of stores as a music journalist and music publicist. And 50 is supposed to headline the concert. Headline sounds like 50 will come first and everybody else. No, it's generally the opposite. When you're headlining a concert, it's like you're going to be the last artist to perform that night, and all the upcoming ones start in the beginning. Even though when you look at the flyer, the names of the upcomings are tiny compared to yours. Remember what happened to Burner? When Burner did his first international concert and they had his name really tiny and said, why can't my name be big up there? Do you remember that? So at the end of the day, it's usually the opposite. Now, going back to Davido. David is very, very proud and pompous. Okay, something that many of you know, and you don't want to admit it because you are his fans. David Adeleke Davido, okay, did not affect the sales of that concert in any way. The sales were good. So Wizkid fans, Wizkid FC will come for him saying he couldn't sell tickets. It's not a Davido concert. It's a 50 Cent concert with guests. And when you have guests that are advertised, you get more tickets to come in. So if 50 Cent advertised Davido as a guest alongside Mary J. Blige for that kind of concert, it's supposed to bring the concert even more money because David is popular. So you have the headliner, okay, meaning that he needs more clout. These guys are in the same category. Okay, 50 needs more clout and brings an African artist in Afrobeats to join him, as well as Mary J. Blige, who is more like an R&B artist, for the millennials and older people in our own area. So you're going to have a concert that has people in their 40s, 50s, 30s, and 20s, kind of like a family concert. But the whole point that Davido didn't understand is it's not your concert, David. You're trying to get the numbers for Tottenham Hotspur Stadium as a sellout, but it's not your concert. Pride is what happened to Davido there. Then fight started. 50 Cent, who has never done any show with Davido, was told that Davido's bad luck and that 7 people have died around him, that he brings bad luck and this and that. Fight started. Internal things you wouldn't see in the media. And he pulled out. Has nothing to do with sales. It just has to do with his pride. I suggest that he gets that together, because pulling out of this neo future group thing, promoters are not going to work with Davido. They're not going to want to work with him because of this incident. Every single negative incident affects the next promoter. Davido's trying to make this concert his own, and it's not his own, okay? He's not a headliner. It's 50 Cent's concert. You're a guest. And this is the reason why I don't like guests being announced, okay? I was one of the music publicists for Drake's first concert, OVO, in 2010 in Canada. And if you remember that concert, anyone that remembers that one remembers how no one knew who was coming out of that stage. And all of a sudden, Drake brings out one of his biggest idols, Beyonce. And this is why it's best to bring out people. But Davido doesn't want to be brought out. He wants to be like front, center, and everything. And that's just part of his pride. And it affected everything now. So you know what's going to happen. Africa must be respected. It's just another prideful way he can express himself. He feels that now that he's not there, the concert becomes a millennial concert. In other words, not a whole lot of Gen Zs are going to be there. And 50 Cent doesn't really care. The guy's an entrepreneur all around and does so much, for business. So good luck to Davido. And pride comes before a fall. He knows that.